Moritz Althaus. Is it fair to say you're the original developer of WeGlide, or did the three of you really start it together?
Yeah, we did start it together, so it's equal parts.
So Moritz is one of the three developers of WeGlide, is also very talented. Are you still a junior glider pilot in Germany?
Well, I just turned 25, so
Okay.
this season and not the next one.
Okay, so still just for the moment a junior, and he's developed WeGlide, which I think we all largely agree now is the replacement of the RLC. And he's going to tell us a little bit about how to use it tonight, its best features, and hopefully we can all learn something.
Okay, thanks very much. So as Matthew stated, we are three people developing WeGlide at the moment. We're working full time on it, and our goal is to develop the next generation soaring platform. Right now, you should be able to see my screen. So we're looking at the start page. On the right-hand side, you can see pictures that people have uploaded. On the left-hand side, you can see log in and sign up. So if we were to sign up now, we could click here and then we could enter our details. We could choose some club, maybe Victoria, enter our stuff, and then just sign up. But I've already signed up, so I'll just log into the website.
Maybe I can just ask you to go a little bit slower, Moritz, because I think our Australian internet isn't quite as good as you're used to in Germany.
Okay, so I'll slow down a bit. So I've signed into the website now. As I've said, here on the right-hand side, we can see some pictures that people have uploaded recently. We can click through them with the arrows. So we could see some pictures of different flights. If we scroll down a little bit, we see the daily best, so new flights that people have uploaded. So today, flying has been done in Australia, so we see Adam is top of the list, and then it's David and Peter. On the right-hand side, we can see the latest uploads, so which flights people have uploaded. But this is a place in WeGlide where you can customize what you want to see. So if you were flying in Australia, for example, you'd probably most of the time you'd be interested. So what people have been uploading in your country or your state or your gliding club. So you could click on the customize button right here. And then you could add your favorite filters. So for example, we could add New South Wales. We could add the Gliding Club of Victoria, or we could also add an aircraft.
I don't think you'll find anything with that combination.
So it's different filters. They're not applied together.
Oh, I see.
So I've just saved them. I'll return back to the start page. And now on the left-hand side, I can still see the daily best from the entire world. And on the right-hand side, I can see the daily best from the latest date where they have been flying activities. So we can see there has not been any flying been done today in New South Wales, but yesterday on the 19th of September. And then I could sort of cycle through my favorite filters. So I could see what people have been flying in my club, or I could, for example, see what people have been uploading flying Aventus 3. On the left-hand side, this is from today, from the 20th. And again, with the arrow, I could cycle through the dates and I could see the top 3 flights from the day before or some more days before. If I want to see more flights from that date, I can just click on the daily best and it'll take me to the list. And then I'll see all the flights that have been done in that area or for the filter selected. So at the moment, I can see there's just a date filter on top of the list. I can see all the information here, the points, the name of the pilots, distance, speed, aircraft, club, airport, and date. And also this little icon here tells me that Adam has uploaded some pictures. If I hover with my mouse over the show button, it'll show me a map preview of that flight. This list is quite general, so I can, if I remove the filter here, it'll show me all flights that have been uploaded to WeGlide, and I can enter whatever I want to search for that. So, for example, I could I'll just see here that what my last filters were. So for example, I could enter a name of a pilot, and then I would see all the flights of the pilot. And here we see above the list, we see date picker, and it just shows on what dates there has been flying activity related to that filter. So we can see that Adam has been flying last October. He's done some flying in February. Then there has been a few months without flying activity for him. Then he started to upload flights again this September. So on that list, I can change the order. So at the moment, it's ordered by points. I could also order it by distance. I could order it by speed, or I could order it by the date. And I could also change what kind of contest is displayed. So at the moment, it's the free contest where it's sort of around the distance. So distance around 5 turn points. I could also have a look at the biggest triangles that Adam has done if I order by points again, or I could have a look at the fastest flights that Adam has done, and then I could select them if I want to view them. Also, at all times, whatever filters I have, I can always click on the map button in the lower right corner, and it will take me from the list to sort of like a map view, and I can see all the flights that have been in the list on the map. So
I really like this feature, being able to see all over the world where you've been flying.
Yeah, it's always connected, the two lists. So now I can see all of Adam's flights, and if I hover above something on the left-hand side, it'll highlight which flight it was. And also if I see, well, maybe this flight was interesting, I can click on it and it will take me to that flight. But it's not just, so the filter, I'll just go back to the list. The filters is not just a pilot. I could also filter, like, for example, for New South Wales. I could filter for an aircraft. So I could put an ASG-29 in it, and then I would see all the flights with an ASG-29 from New South Wales. You can also put in some particular airfield, some club, some region, some country, whatever you want to put in it. And we'll add more filters soon. So there's a summer and winter filter coming up. There's some month filter coming up. Then you can also filter in the future. It'll be coming in a few days. You can filter for outlanding, for junior, for women, whatever you want to filter for. So I don't know, are there any questions at the moment regarding the list?
We had some questions about the dates and times. So you're seeing the times in UTC, or are they in your local time?
So they're always in UTC.
Is it possible to have that for Australian times?
I don't think it's too hard. So we didn't know it was sort of something pilots were wishing for, but if that is interesting to you, we can certainly add it.
Yeah, because quite often at my club we'll launch at 2200 hours and then fly through midnight. So it'll look quite strange.
Yeah, my impression was that you sort of got used to it, but so as I understand, the local time would be more interesting to you.
I think so. I think we've had a couple of people ask that. Terry Cubley asks, how are the flights from 2017 showing?
Okay. So there's no season selected. So at all times we're searching all seasons. So I could.
But I understand you can upload all of your old flights if you like. You can upload your flights going all the way back to the inventional loggers.
Yeah, it's not limited to any date. You can put all your flight data on WeGlide, so you can all have it on one map.
I think that's all the questions we have at the moment.
Okay, cool. So let's just have a look at Adam's flights from today to maybe see what WeGlide displays as information. So here you have the map with the flight trace. We also show airspaces on the map, and we also show these little photo icons to show where photos have been taken and uploaded. Below the map, you have the barogram, and you can see a grayed out that this has been the the time where Adam has used his engine. We could also have a look at the engine noise level, and this clearly shows in yellow that there was an engine use. And we could also see the airspaces in the barogram if I click on the airspace on the right hand side. So this is often interesting, well, especially in Germany, because if you often fly below airspace, so you can sort of think about what the pilot was up to, why he was flying so low at some point, because you can see that he was flying under some airspace. You can zoom into the barogram with the mouse, and it will take you exactly to the place, to the plate in the flight, and you can also just follow along the track if you sort of pan it to the right or the left. You can zoom out again. On the left-hand side, you see some more information regarding the flight. You see that it's green, so it's all valid. You can click on the flight valid, and it shows there were no remarks analyzing the flight, so it's all good. You have some buttons here. On the left one, the cloud is to open the flight in SEO, so you can also do that if you want to. You can download the IGC file. Next to that, you can share the flight on any social networks if you want to. And here I can like the flight. So I'm the first person to give Adam a like for his cool flight. Here you see the aircraft he's been flying with, and you can click on the task. So, and then you see it in the map what task Adam was flying. It sort of looks like a declared, I don't think it's a triangle, but something similar. Below you can see the different contests we evaluate. So I've already talked about the free distance. It's the distance on 6 legs, so free distance across 5 turn points. Then we also evaluate the triangle. We evaluate out and return distance. And we also evaluate a sprint, so it's the fastest 2 hours in the flight. And then next to that, you can see the new Ingo Renner Cup, which also counts declared tasks. Below that, you can see what the pilot wrote regarding that flight, and you're also able to comment on the flights of others. So I could, for example, just write, I don't know, great flight, keep it up, and then I could publish that comment, and everyone can see it. Below that, you can see the wingmans, so you can see all the people that Adam has met on his flight. You can select the list, and if you select one flight, it will load the 2 flights, and you can compare them at the same time. So I'll just deselect it now, and below that you can see the stories, so the pictures that the pilot has uploaded. If you click on one, it will open up, and you can scroll through the pictures and have a look at them. It's quite a few pictures. So,
we have
okay.
quite a few questions already now. We have a question about the date formats. The date format seems to be American format. So it's month, day, year.
Yes.
Is it possible for that to be Australian format or the rest of the world format?
Yeah, it's certainly possible. So I'll show it later that you can customize your units and your settings. I don't think the date format is linked to it at the moment. I'm not quite sure, but it's certainly possible. So I'll write it down, and that doesn't take too much time.
And I understand we can change the units from height to feet and meters, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's possible. I'll show you how to do that later.
We have a question about the handling of IGC files. So the OLC, particularly in recent years, is extremely strict about IGC files. So if you have a dodgy old logger, it usually won't accept your trace. So the question is the WeGlide more forgiving around these dodgy files?
Well, it sort of depends. I'm not sure what kind of files we are talking about. So we approve all IGC valid files. And if you upload a file from, for example, XCSOR or something, it will show as blue, and it will say WeGlide valid and not IGC valid. But WeGlide valid is enough for most of the contests. So this is sort of the decision of Gliding Australia if you want to accept WeGlide valid files for the Ingo Renner Cup.
And what is the handicap system that it's using?
At the moment, we're using the same handicap system as OLC, and this is the handicap system developed by the German Aero Club. So they do some simulations, and from that on, they determine handicaps.
Sure.
So I'll just keep going on the flight. One thing I forgot is you can see some statistics if you drop the menu out here. And it will show you for all legs, it will show you the distance, the speed, and the wind, and also the wind speed and wind direction. We determine that by sort of your flight trace. It should show you your thermaling performance. It'll also say how tight you circle, at what speed you circle,
I really like that,
and at what bank angle you circle. And you also have like a small icon to show you in which direction you were circling most of the time on that leg. And then below that you have glide. So this tells you if you sort of flying straight and you're not circling, at what speed are you flying between the thermals, what glide ratio you achieve between the thermals, and the amount of detour you do between the thermals. So for example, if it says detour 114%, it means my flight trace is 14% longer than if I were to fly straight from one turn point to the next one. So for me, this is quite interesting because it sometimes shows me what kind of flight style a pilot had. And yeah, that's why it's useful to me. So let's head over to Adam's profile. We can click on his name. Then we see all his flights that he has uploaded on the right-hand side. We can scroll through them. We can see that he's uploaded a profile picture, that he's got like a little bio here, and we can click the follow button. And I'll show you how that's useful in a couple of seconds. We see some more information. So we see that he has connected his glider in our live tracking. I'll also talk about that soon, which means sort of in OGN, in our live tracking, he will show up with his real name and not only with his glider. He has not declared a task at the moment. So this is online declaration, which is shown here. So you don't, on WeGlide, you don't need to put a task in the logger anymore. You can do that, but you don't need to. You can also declare a task online and it will also count it. And I'll also talk about that later. We can see the friends Adam has. So he's following 10 pilots. So some German pilots. He's following you, Matthew. So I can also click follow you and I'll see your flights in my friends feed. And we can also see here that 30 pilots are following Adam. And we could also follow some of them if we wanted to see their flights. So now I'm following Adam. So if I'm heading back to my start page again, I can also I also have like a custom feed. So I can click on flights of my friends here or on the left-hand side on the friends icon. And it will all show all the flights of my friends in one feed. So the latest ones on top. And I can scroll through them. It will show what Adam wrote about his flight. It will show my comments, and it will show what other people have commented. And I can also, on the right-hand side, I see a little map, and if I click on it, it'll sort of switch between the uploaded photos and the map. So I can, without clicking on his flights, I can see what he has done. Yeah, are there any more questions at the moment?
Ryan would like to know if it's possible to upload an IGC but not make it available for download.
At the moment, it's not possible, but it would also be relatively easy to implement.
I think it would still be quite easy for someone to extract a sort of pseudo IGC file, though, even if as soon as you display it on the map, people could figure out where you've been, obviously. So
exactly. I mean, the whole point about sharing your flight online is for other people to see it. But it's not possible to upload sort of like private flights at the moment, which only you can see if you upload it. It's to take part in competitions and for others to see your flights.
Yeah, I can imagine when it might be useful though if you're using it perhaps as a flight logbook as well. Like if I've flown a flight that broke airspace or something that I don't want to be scored, but maybe I still want to keep a record of where I want, then maybe it'd be useful.
Yeah, I think it's something which can be implemented in the future. It's definitely a valid idea.
I see Marco would like to know if it's possible to see who likes your flights. I think that was possible, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's possible. So at the moment, it's not displayed with name, but if I click on Adam's flights, we see that some other pilot has also liked it in the meantime, and at the moment I can see the two icons. So this is my profile picture, and this is the profile picture of Johannes. So you can sort of see who has liked it, but you don't get a list of pilot at the moment. So we're thinking about showing this, but it has some downsides as well. So we're still in discussions if we want to show it.
John would like to know where the rules of the competitions are. So for the Ingo Renner Cup, I think there was a document sent out as part of that announcement a week ago or so. Are there rules for how you calculate sprint and free distance and all that everywhere?
Yeah, so I've just opened up docs.weglide.org. This is where you'll find all the rules. You find a couple of how-tos. I can click on that and we'll show some FAQs, our philosophy. Also, it'll show, I don't know, how to edit or delete your flight, how to create a story, and so on. And it'll also show you for the different contests the rules. So for free, it'll show you in English what the rules are, how the result is calculated. And we've also added the section for the Ingo Renner Cup where you can find the different rules.
John Welsh would like to know, is this to replace the OLC or to work in parallel to the OLC?
So our goal is not focused on the OLC. Our goal is on what we want to create. And this is sort of next generation gliding platform, but I don't see any point in uploading to a different platform anymore if I get all the features I want on WeGlide. So
I think from the GFA's perspective, I mean, certainly WeGlide has now taken the contract from the OLC. So at least from our perspective, I think in Australia, it's intended that you now upload your flights to WeGlide. We have Finlay, this is quite a good suggestion, I think, asking if it's possible to translate comments. So, like on Facebook, you press the little translate button and it translates from whatever language the person's written into English. Is that possible?
Yeah, so
WeGlide?
Let's have a look at one of my flights. So this is like a flight I did like a month ago, and it'll show like a German comment, and you can click on the translate button here, and it'll not do it directly in the flight, but it'll take you to Google Translate, and then you can see the translation on the right-hand side.
Nice. Is that going to be done in situ in the future?
I guess at some point. So I have not implemented the front end, but I think it will be. Our goal is to sort of keep it in WeGlide to make it even more smoothly. Yes. Have we got some more questions, or should I show how to upload a flight maybe?
I think if you can show us how to upload, that'd be good.
Okay, right. So you can also do that on the left-hand side with the upload button, and you can also do it on the upload flight field on the top here. If I click on it, you can just drag IGC files in this place, or you can click here to open up your computer file system. You can also drop multiple IGC files here. So if I click on it and I select some random flight and I open it, it'll just upload it. It'll show some information regarding the flight. I can put in the registration and the competition ID. I don't have to put it in. If I don't want to submit it, I can delete it. Here I can select the aircraft type, and it's important to select the right aircraft type. So if I don't select an aircraft with engine, it will not show any engine run. So it's very important to select the Ventus 3M and not the Ventus 3 sailplane. I can put down a comment here on the right-hand side if I want to. And then here it'll show me that my flight has 3 scoring windows because I've used the engine twice after takeoff here and here at 15:30 UTC. And WeGlide automatically scores each individual scoring window and selects the best one, which would give you the highest results for your flight. But I could adjust this information here if it is not detected correctly by WeGlide. It'll also show me which airspaces I've entered here, how long I was inside, and when I first entered it. And if it was some forbidden airspace, I would just delete the flight again if I don't want to upload it. If I want to add some pictures, I can click on story. I can select, I think, up to 30 images or something, and just drop them in here, and it'll upload the images and put them at the correct time and place in the flight trace. I could also, for each individual image, I could also add some comment. For example, I could write nice cloud street in the morning or something. Then I just confirm that I've agreed to the privacy policy, the user agreement, and that my scoring windows are choosing correct. And I just hit save, and it will take me directly to my flight.
And it scores it instantaneously.
Yeah, this is quite fast from my perspective, and it doesn't depend on the amount of flights that have been uploaded. So even if we have a lot of flights uploaded in one evening, it will score it pretty quick.
And it says flight claimed too late to this contest. How long do you have to upload it?
So this flight was from end of July. You can have a look in the docs, but it's 2 days after landing at 12 p.m. local time. You have to upload the flight. So, for example, if I fly on Sunday, I'll have to upload the flight by Tuesday, 12 p.m., 12 midday.
And Ryan would like to know if you can edit the start and end time with the scoring window to make your speed higher. I think you can, can't you?
Yes, you can. So if I want to edit my flight, I can click on the pen symbol here. I can click edit, and for example, it detects that my scoring start is at 8:14 UTC, and if I wanted to put a 9 in here or something, and then it'll show me that the flight would start exactly here, and I could just hit save, and then it'll rescore my flight with the new scoring times. I'll have to reload it at some point.
How wide so now is your... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Now it's scored again with a different start time.
How wide is your range of gliders? Do you have paragliders and hang gliders in there as well?
At the moment, we don't. So at the moment, we're focused on doing gliding, and we want to do this thing with all the stuff that we want to implement. But at some point, we will add a section for paragliders and hang gliders as well.
We have a paraglider pilot in the comments asking if that's possible, so I think it could be popular.
Yeah, he will need to wait some more time, but at some point, yes.
Not even quite caught up to the OLC yet.
Okay, so I've shown. Okay, so this I can show you one more feature which is at the moment not available in Australia. It's available in Europe and America. So you can click on the satellite icon here, and then you can hover on the baryogram, and you can see the corresponding satellite image at every point of your flight. And from my perspective, this is quite interesting because it enables you to sort of see what kind of decisions the pilot made and why he made them. So for example, you can see here that there's like a weather front approaching from the west in the afternoon, and this sort of was making the conditions a bit worse, and I was struggling, and that's why I had to use the engine here. So this is a feature which is free at the moment, but at some point in the near future, we will launch a small supporter package where you have to pay I think it will be 36 euro a year, and then you will see the satellite picture, historic satellite pictures for your flight, and also in the live tracking you will see the live satellite picture.
And I understand you can see SkySide layers as well.
You can see SkySide layers in the task planning section, which I'll come to in a moment. You cannot see the SkySide layers for the flight at the moment, but I think this would also be a cool idea to have the forecast for that day.
Yeah, we should do that.
Cool. So let's head over to the task section. If there are any, I don't know, are there any questions at the moment?
We do have quite a few questions, but maybe we'll come to those at the end. I think they're not relevant just for the moment.
All right. So you can create tasks in our front end, or you can upload tasks from CUP or text files. Here you can see all the tasks that I have uploaded. So I have 2 tasks which I have planned with WeGlide. I could add a new task if I click on here. So let's head over to Australia maybe to plan a task. There's waypoints in there, and there's also the airport database, but you don't need to use waypoints to plan a task. You can also click anywhere in the map. So at the moment, this would be sufficient, but we will add the possibility to upload custom waypoints at some point. So if I were to plan a task starting from Kingaroy, maybe like a small triangle or something, I could drag it like this. I double click in the end to finish the task, and it'll show me all the triangle sections in here in gray. So I could drag this section, and I could see where it's a triangle. On the left-hand side, I see the kilometers, and I also see the amount of points that I would get for that task in the Ingo Renner Cup. Now, if I'm happy with my task, I could choose a different aircraft. So maybe if I'm flying a Ventus, I would choose the Ventus, and then I will adjust the points which I will get for this task. I can also give it a name or something like this. I can also add a description, and then I can choose whether the task will be public or private. But by default, all tasks in WeGlide are public, and I will show you what that means in a moment. And here I can also use SkySide layers. I can connect to SkySide in the profile section. I can connect it with my SkySide profile, and then I can use, for example, the thermal information or the cumulus cloud information if I want to plan a task, and it will show me in the SkySide layer. I think I need to select Australia East here, and then it should show me the information. But yeah, we will add more layers in the future, I think. Okay, cool. So let's save this task for the moment. And if I want to declare the task online, I can do this from here or from my profile. And I could click on declare it for 3 days. And it will say, are you sure you want to do this? This will override any declaration you have in your logger. I'll click OK, and now it's a declared task. And if I now fly this task, I will get extra points for this task.
That points their calculation, assuming it was declared then.
Yes, that's assuming it was declared. We are also working together with Elix and ElixNav, and you can select all your tasks in your gliding computer, and you can also do a direct upload from the Elix 9000 devices to WeGlide.
So you can send the task from WeGlide to the LX, or you will be able to, and you can send the flight from the LX, as that is the IGC file from the LX to WeGlide already.
Yes, this is true, but we're also working together with them to make this even more interesting for the pilots. So now I see that I have 3 tasks here, but I could also explore tasks of other pilots. So maybe I can see if you have planned a task already, Matthew.
I don't think so.
don't have though. Maybe let's look at Adam. Okay, so he has already planned 2 tasks here, like an out and return task and a task across 3 waypoints. And now I could click on this task, and I could also declare his task for my flight if I think this is an interesting task. And I could also give his task a star here. And this is for me to remember this task. And if I head over to the task section again to start, I can now see here all the tasks that I find interesting that I have starred. And we're working together with LX and the different device manufacturers that they also display my favorite tasks in the devices. So I don't have to plan it myself if I find an interesting task. And one of our goals is to, if I fly a task by a different WeGlide member, that it will compare our scores across the same task. So if I click on a task, it will show who has already flown it and at what speed. So we can compare.
I can pick one of Adam Woolley's tasks, fly faster than one, and then it'll let him know that I beat him. That sounds like a great feature.
This is the goal. Okay, maybe, I don't know, are there any questions regarding the tasks section at the moment?
We have the question, is there plans for the same functionality for XC-SAW?
Yes, so there's work been going on integration in XC-SAW for a couple of months now. It's progressing, but it's progressing relatively slow. But I guess that in a couple of months it will be available. But there is work going on.
And we have a question about the triangle height calculations. I think that's probably best covered by reading the rules, though. I think it's quite a technical question.
Is it about the 500 or the 750K discussion?
Is it a requirement for a triangle score to finish within 500 meters horizontal and 1,000 meters vertical? I think it is, right?
Yeah, I think it's 1,000 meters vertical and 1,000 meters horizontal, but you can find it in the docs.
Does the aircraft in the task default to the one you have set in your profile?
I don't think it does at the moment, but it would be a nice solution.
And Ron would like to know, is there a user manual for all this? I think you do have everything pretty well covered on docs.weglide.org, right?
Yeah, most of the stuff is covered on docs.weglide.org, but this is definitely a place where we want to improve. So as soon as we get some time in the winter, we will add, or in the European winter, we'll add some more stuff there.
I think that's
okay.
Everything.
Then let's head over to ranks. So we've already had a view at the flight lists, but then there's also ranks. So ranking who's scored the most with his flights. As I've said, there's different competitions on WeGlide. There's international competitions hosted by WeGlide, so by us. It's the free competitions where your distance across 6 legs is scored, and you also get a bonus for a triangle out and return. We have a sprint competition. We have out and return, and we have explore. And explore is like just flights in one direction, so just flights from one point to another. If in the ranking, I can also filter by continent, country, or state. So I can just put Australia in here, and it will show me for season 2021 who has scored the most out of his total of his 5 best flights. I could also click on one flight if I were interested to see which one it was. I can change the season here. I can, for example, select a different year, but I can also select all seasons. So then we would be able to compare who has done the 5 best flights across all uploaded flights in Australia. So yes, this is the season filter. Then I can select the category. At the moment, we're comparing different pilots, but we also have a club competition. So this is the 3 best flights of 3 different pilots of one club together. So at the moment, it's Kingory Soaring on the top. And I could also select pilot total. So I would see who has in 2021 uploaded the most flights with the most kilometers. I can again revert to all seasons if I want to see who has uploaded the most kilometers across all seasons.
Is there a filter
and
for
I could
vintage
select,
gliders at all? Can you see only old gliders?
yes, we've just implemented this. This is not live yet, but it will be coming in a couple of days. So you can see club total. So this is the total which different clubs have flown, and airport total, where you can compare different airports from Australia. Again, if you want to see airports from another country or from all over the world, you can just remove the Australia filter and show you all airfields in the world. I'll go back to pilot. Then you could filter for women or juniors. If I put Australia in again, and if we select women, we see in 2021 who's on top of the list for women, or I could also select juniors here. So you can see we don't have many Australian juniors flying this season at the moment. And then you can filter by glider class. You could select all scoring classes, or you could filter by 15 or 18 meters or any other class. And we will add a vintage filter soon for this. Okay, so this was the international competitions by WeGlide, and then we also have national competitions. In Germany, it's the DMST. We have a Swiss championship, and we also now have the Ingorena Cup. This one, it only starts in 2022, so on 1st of October, but we do have the 2021 season here just for pilots to sort of get used to it and have a look how they would score. And you could use all the same filters, which I have explained also for this cup. And then we also have leagues. So at the moment, the Australian league has not started, but I could select the German league, and then it will take me to the German league from the past season. I can select the season. This is only 2021. And then I could say if I want to see the total or for the result for one round. If I click on it, I can select the round here, maybe round, I don't know, 13. And then I could see how the different clubs have placed in the league. If I go to the total again, I can see on round 13 how the total has changed. So it'll show me this club here, it has a green arrow with 1 by the side. So this club here has improved in the total ranking by 1 spot from going from round 12 to round 13. I hope this is not too confusing. Do we have any questions at the moment?
I don't think so.
Okay, so maybe I'll just show some different competitions. So the sprint competitions for Australia, then we could see who's done the total of the fastest flights in Australia, and this is also Adam. Or if we have a look at the Explore competition, we see the furthest sort of one-way flight in Australia, and this is the big flight by David. Okay, so then we could also have a look at our live scoring, which you'll find in the below the ranks on the left-hand side. And here you see who's flying at the moment worldwide. At the moment, it's only in Europe. You see the aircraft type here, the speed and the height above ground. And you also see the kilometers, the distance. So we do live scoring of all the glider flights in the air. And so on good days, it's quite interesting to see who's flying and how fast they are progressing and what they are up to. If you connect your glider in your settings, then you will show up here by your name. And for example, if we click on one flight, we can see that there's looks like some ridge flying or something. And you can also see you can also see some statistics for the live flight. So how fast they are progressing on different legs, how they are thermaling, and you could also see the task that they have declared online. So if people declare a task online, you can see what they are up to, but only if they declare it publicly. If you declare a private task, no one will be able to see what you are up to. So if I were to connect a aircraft to my profile, I'd go to profile, and then I go to here. I can see live connect, and it will say no live tracking connected at the moment. I click on live connect, and it'll show me the aircrafts which I have been flying with in the last flights, and then I could, for example, select this aircraft of my club, and I could sort of say, okay, I'll connect it to my profile for 1 day or forever if it's my aircraft and I'm the only one flying it, and then it will show up in the live tracking with my name. Also in the live tracking, which I've mentioned, you can also click on the satellite image, and then you can see the current weather situation. And this is also quite interesting on good weather days to see what pilots are doing and what kind of decisions they are making. If you zoom in, the list on the left-hand side changes. So if I zoom into a picture, it'll only show me the aircrafts in this area on the left-hand side. And if I zoom out again, it will show me the aircrafts here. So if I, for example, I were to zoom to Italy or something, it'll show me that no one is flying there at the moment. Are there any questions regarding live tracking maybe?
Don't think so. No, I think I've answered all of the quick questions there. Warren, I don't really understand your question. Maybe you can rephrase that one. Andrew would like to know why he can't find a Janus A in the aircraft list. Is Janus in the database, the handicap database?
I think it is. So if we go to one of my flights, and if I go to, okay, this is a past flight, so it's old. I can't edit it. But I think it is in the list. But you can, if you think that an aircraft is missing, you can just write us and we'll add it.
And Marco would like to know if you support other tracking other than OGN, like the Skylines tracking.
At the moment, we don't, just because it's more complicated to have different sources. But as soon as we find some more time, I think we will add spot tracking and maybe also Skylines tracking. But I understand that that OGN receivers are not that common in Australia at the moment.
Yeah, we're getting stations quite quickly now, but most of where we fly isn't covered.
So one last thing maybe which I can show is in your profile. You can also customize quite a lot of things. So here you have your custom filters, which I have already shown, but you could also go to settings. Then you could add your profile pictures, and there you could change the units of WeGlide. We'll add date to that soon, and so we've received feedback that pilots, they want all different combinations of units. So in the future, you'll be able to select all your units independently. And here you can also say if you want to allow others to comment on your flight. So this is a feature which you can disable. Also, you see integrations. So there you can see which services I've integrated with WeGlide. I've integrated my Scutter account. Copilot is a German integration, which is not interesting for Australia. But also I have LXNAV Connect connected. If I want to do that, I can just go to connect.lxnav.com and I can sign in with WeGlide. and it will take me to this page, and there I can enter my WeGlide credentials, and then I've sort of allowed AlexNav to access some parts of my account, and then they can declare tasks for me and upload flights on my behalf.
I think we've had a couple of questions now about whether you support other competitions than the predefined list. So if I run a competition on the weekend or something, is there some way I can have WeGlide score it or upload the results to WeGlide?
At the moment, we don't have this possibility, but this is something. So we will not do like proper competition scoring for something like the Australian Nationals or something. But if you want to do like a small competitions with your mates, this is something which we will add. So if you just fly the same task, we will show all the results, and then there will also be a section where you can sort of say, okay, let's score it by these rules or other rules, and then you can see the amount of points that you scored.
And can you show us the logbook functionality again? Or I think I've seen there's some way to see how many hours I've flown over what time windows and things like that I can then just scribble straight in my logbook.
Okay, so this is my profile, and I can click on my flights, and then it will show me my flights here as the list with pictures, or you can click on flight as list, and it will take you to the list, but with my name filtered in, and then I can scroll down, and then I'll see like a total of all my, like I've done 138 hours on total and uploaded this to WeGlide. Is this what you meant?
Yeah, absolutely. That's really nice. I don't think we have any more questions. Andrew says, what about ADSB? Can you take input from ADSB? I think you can't at the moment, but is that something you're considering?
We have not thought about this, but again, if you have any interesting ideas, something you can write us an email, and we can consider it and have a look into it.
Barry would like to know whether this is meant to just be used for competitions or also just for your own flying. And I think, of course, you can use it absolutely for your own flying.
Yeah. So, I mean, you always scored in a competition, but I mean, there's tons of different kind of pilots. So some pilots take joy in, I don't know, racing against their mates, and others just want to upload their flights and maybe share a picture, and they are happy. So you can use it in any way that you want to use it.
And I think all of the pictures, like taking photos and leaving comments and all of that, is really aimed at that as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So one thing maybe which I forgot to mention is on the start page, you have flight stories. So you can also cycle through that to view the latest uploaded images. And if you click on the story list, it will take you to a list where there's only flights with images. And then you could also filter on that. So I could maybe put in Australia or something, and then I could see all the latest stories that have been uploaded from Australia.
Murray asks if it's possible to tag a flight as an instructional flight, to say you're a student or you're the instructor or something like that. How do you handle people in two-seat gliders as well?
Okay, so if you upload a flight, you can. I should have shown this when we were actually uploading the flight. But when you're uploading the flight, you can select that it's if it's a two-seater, you can select a different pilot, and you need to enter his date of birth, and then it will link his profile in the flight section as well.
And will the points be shared, or do you define who's P1, P2? So
the person who uploads the flight is P1, and he or she gets all the points. But so if you're a junior and you want to score your flight in the junior section, you either need to fly alone or you need to fly together with another junior. And the same goes for women. So if you want to have your flights shown in the women's section, you need to fly with either two women or alone.
And Jacques asks, is the live functionality available in Australia, or is that only for Europe?
No, it's available all around the world. It just depends on OGN receivers to sort of display sensible data.
Mm-hmm. And we have to register as well, otherwise we won't show up, like we might show up on Glide and Seek or Glider Tracker, but not WeGlide if we're not registered?
That's true. So because for data protection reasons, we don't show anyone if he has not registered his gliders. We also have a section in our docs regarding what you need to do. So it'll say how to and frequently asked question, and there we exactly tell you the steps which you need to do to register your glider, and you have to register it in the OGN device database, and there you select the kind of aircraft, and there you also select that you do want to be tracked, because we don't track you if you do not want to be tracked. But if you do, just put your data inside, and then we'll show you in WeGlide Live.
I think that's all the questions we have at the moment. We have someone asking if CU Navigator OGN will show up. So if you, I don't know if you've seen, but CU with UDIs, and I think on your phone as well, you can show up on the OGN via phone signal. Does that come through to WeGlide as well?
Yeah, so my understanding is that they feed their data to the normal OGNs, so it'll show up. Yes.
Okay.
And you can also use, so we're working together with CU, so you can also, it'll also show your WeGlide tasks on Navigator, and you can use that.
Have you considered spot tracking as well? This, you know, the spot tracker system?
Yeah. I think I've actually mentioned it. So spot tracking will be possible as data source in a couple of months.
A couple of months. And you know the InReach system as well?
No, I don't know this one.
It's from Garmin. Yeah, they implemented it on SkySat actually, and it's got a horrific API. So I really pity you if you try and implement it. But they're sort of a more popular replacement for the spots now in Australia, at least.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Jacob, the FLAM data, that'll come in automatically, as in your FLAM shows up on the OGN automatically if you don't have it in stealth mode. Bernard's asking if there'll be a charge. So my understanding is it's free, but do you want to talk a little bit more about what you're going to put in the paid subscription? So you can optionally pay, I understand?
Everything that you have seen at the moment is free and will always stay free. And we'll also expand the functionality for free users, and we'll always keep increasing the functionality. But because we are so passionate about the project, we need some way to raise money, and this is why we'll launch the supporter package soon. And essentially, in the beginning, so this is not too interesting for Australia because we don't have Australian satellite images yet. But you can see the historic satellite images on your flight, which I have shown, and also in the live tracking, you can see the current live satellite image, and you also get high resolution background maps. So if we have a look at a flight, you can choose different layers here. So you can see our custom maps, or you could click on here and you get like a satellite layer for the flight. But sadly, this is not too high resolution at the moment. But in the supported package, you get a better resolution. And also, you can select different stuff which you want to see on the map here. So you can select airports or airspaces or deselect them. And also, I think this is only Africa, Namibia, and Europe at the moment, but you can select the landing fields from Streckenflug AT, and they will also show up. So
and
this is
where does your airport data come from? Because I think someone said that it doesn't show the airfield correctly at Lake Keep It, for example.
And this is from OpenAIP. So if there's some data which is incorrect, you can sign up at OpenAIP and correct this data.
And the airspaces come from OpenAIP as well?
It is, yes.
Okay. I don't think we have any more questions.
So I've actually one small more thing. So you can, if you have like a club website or a website for your airport, you can also embed WeGlide, which means, okay, so I just need to find the section here. Let's have a look. which means that WeGlide flights of your club or of your airport show up on a different website. We have like a tutorial how you can do it, and if you want to see like an example, you can click on here, and it will take you to some German website, and you can see they have integrated WeGlide in some way, and then you can see the latest flights of your club on your club's website. So if this is interesting to you, you can follow the tutorial, or if you have any problems, you can write us an email and we'll help you. Cool.
I don't think we have any more questions. It's been great having you on to show us how to use WeGlide, and I'm sure once everyone gets flying again, everyone's going to give it a try, and hopefully we get a good year with the Ingo Renner Cup.
Yeah, thanks very much for the opportunity. And again, I understand there's many like custom things which are interesting for Australia, so don't hesitate to write them to us. For example, the custom date format. If we know about them, we can implement them quickly. So yeah, just write us, and thanks again.